Hey, what's up? Sean here. Today we're going to make 3D text for Facebook in Cinema 4D. So let's get started. So fire up your version of Cinema 4D and go to MoGraph, MoText. So this will create a generator object which will generate this text. So let's say something like hello world. Sweet. Alright, now if we're going to display lines, you'll notice there's quite a lot of lines here, and Facebook wants your files to be quite a low file size, so we tend to want to keep our polygons as low as possible wherever we can. So the trick is we go into intermediate points, change this from adaptive to natural, and now we scale down this number to something like 1, just so that it retains the shape. Sweet. Now if you look, you'll notice we've got these nice quads here, but then we've got these whole big chunky polygons which make the front and back of the text. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to change these big chunky polygons into a bunch of triangles. So to do that we go into caps and go triangles. The reason is that when it's those big chunky polygons, other software doesn't read it properly. Doesn't really work quite well. It's not compatible. In this case, it's not compatible really for the GLTF format, or FBX in that case, which is what we'll be working with. So now we want to give it a material. So we'll go create new PBR material. In older versions, it would just be new material, but here in R19, we can use PBR. So we'll turn off reflectance and we'll turn on color. Scale this up to make it blue. Sweet. Now let's just drag and drop this on. So the thing is, this is a generator object, so when we try and export this, it won't read it properly, because this type of object is specific to Cinema 4D. So we need to turn it into an object which is essentially a bunch of polygons. To do that, we go make it editable. Now when we open this up, we'll still see a whole bunch of generators, and then we'll have to go make them editable again, open them up, select these, connect objects, and delete. The problem with this process is you'll have to do that for each of these things, and when we're making things from Facebook, we tend to want to do things really quickly. So a little hack I found, we'll just go undo, is we get a connect object and put everything inside the connect object and put the blue material here. Now if we go make it editable, we'll get it all as one object, which is quite neat. But the problem we have now is that it looks really bubbly and kind of a bit gross. Like that, we get this terrible shading. So what we do is we turn off world in the connect the world thing, and that should make it now sharp edges, which is what we want. Now the thing is, we want to export this as FBX, so we want to make it editable and then export it. But the thing is, say we make a little typo and we want to edit it at a later stage, I tend to want to keep things in these like nice little states where I can just change things around easily. Because when we made it editable, we can't really change what text this is. We're still stuck with hello world. We can only change the positioning of the polygons, that sort of stuff. So for preservation purposes, I tend to save it at this point. So I'll save it, and let's call it text underscore basic underscore C4D. This is just my file naming convention. Cool. So now to preserve it, we go copy this, make a new scene, paste it, and then we'll make it editable. The reason why I put in the scene is that I didn't want to risk accidentally making it editable and then saving it, and then I can't really, if I close it, I can't really go back and change it back to this format. So we'll go file, we'll now export this as an FBX. Let's call it text underscore basic underscore FBX. Cool. We've got our textures and materials ticked. As we can see, we've got all the older versions, but all of these work, but we'll stick with 7.5, which is the latest for now. We'll go OK. Now if we go over here, we've got our file. Now we want to convert it into a format that is ready for Facebook. There's this format called GLTF, which essentially has all these material settings which are just perfect for uploading to Facebook. So we want to convert this FBX file to GLTF. So I use a little command prompt program called FBX to GLTF, which I'll link in the description. So let's just open up the command prompt with CMD. Copy this file path, go CD, and then right click to paste it. Also now we're in this directory. So now if we run this file, we'll go FBX to GLTF. It will give us all the settings we can change, all of the properties we can add to the conversion process. So now let's go FBX to GLTF. I just went up arrow, so it went to my last command, and I'll type up the file name. So I go text underscore basic underscore FBX. So this is our FBX file, and then I'll end it with the extension, which is .fbx. Should go through a little process where it says the bytes it wrote, and it should create a folder like this with our GLTF file. So if we look around, we've got this up and ready to export. Now the thing is, Facebook doesn't read GLTF, it reads GLB files, which are essentially like GLTF's brother, where it's like the binary version of GLTF. And it's like a very short conversion process, which we want to change. So there's this website called GLB Packer. I'll link this in the description. Sweet. Have to wait for it to start up. Cool, and we just drag and drop this folder in here, and we make sure that it pastes to this folder, to our save directory, and we'll go text underscore basic underscore GLB. Save this out. I mean, we could convert the FBX straight to GLB in a Paint 3D, but sometimes Paint 3D adds on a whole bunch of like unnecessary bytes to the file size, so I tend to like this process as it gets straight to the point. So we've got our GLB file, and now if we open up Facebook, let's wait for this to load. And we'll go write a post. We'll just drag this GLB file in. Let's see, it should load. And here we've got our file. Now if we want to, our 3D model, now if we want to change the color around, we can go select these little circles here, and that will change it. So we've got some control. Cool, thank you.